Hi guys.
Hello there. Ashley and Nicole here. Again, same clothes 3 weeks in a row. Today we're going to be focusing on planks. And we decided to go over planks with high plank and low plank. So high plank's hand and then low plank is elbows. This is an excellent exercise to do. Like if you could do one abdominal exercise all the time, this is the one I would pick because it basically hits all of your transverse, your internal ab muscles as well as your external ab muscles, and it just gets so deep. It's like taking a corset around your body and pulling it in. It just sucks everything in nice and tight. However, this is also the kind of exercise that people can do and it can create a lot of back pain. So we don't want that. We want to create a nice strong back. So we're going to go over your form. So let's start, we're going to go to the yogi ball eventually, but let's start with a high plank, so on your hands. So with this one, you want to make sure, another thing to focus on here is your wrist. We don't want people hurting their wrists. So as Nicole's already set up here perfectly, her shoulders are directly over top of her wrist, but you also want to separate your fingers. So if you separate your fingers and you push down through your thumbs and your forefingers, most importantly, you're going to create that balance within your wrist. So if you're putting more weight on the outside, it's going to hurt your wrist a little bit more. Okay, so, and also from here you have that nice straight back and her hips are in line with her shoulders. Now, if her hips were to sag right here, not only is she eliminating part of the core work, actually most of the core work, sorry, get behind your head, then she's also placing stress on her back. So you're getting, it's almost like somebody's pushing into it. But if you lift the hips up and you're back in line with the shoulders, and you can feel that all through the core again. Now, another mistake is when people try to correct this, often they end up lifting their hips up. So their back might be sore, they're getting tired, and they lift their hips up, and then once again, this is almost like half between a plank and a downward facing dog, and you're really not getting that much out of it, and you probably don't feel it in your abs as much. So, and then also, when you lift your hips up, your shoulders come away from over top of your wrists, and you want to make sure that they're perfectly over top. So if you feel like your body's coming up here, it's better to drop down to your knees, take the modification, lift your hips up just a little bit higher, and then you can just hold it here for a moment. You're still working your abs, focus on that exhale, draw them in really nice and tight, and then pop back off your knees as soon as you're ready. Okay, so just make sure you have that form. So check in with your shoulders, make sure they're over top of your wrists, check in with your hips, make sure that they're in line with your shoulders, not too high and not too low. Okay, so you can come down for a moment. So that is your, yes, I'm sorry, it gets pretty sore. So that's your high plank, that's on your hands. That's a little bit more challenging through the shoulders. And to go deeper into the abs, you would be using a low plank. Okay, so low plank option is on the elbows. And I'm not saying that you don't feel this on your shoulders, you do quite a bit, but you also get deeper into that ab, especially because you almost get that contraction as you draw your elbows in right through here. So you want to squeeze your shoulder blades together so you're nice and flat. You don't want that rounded back because whatever you do with your muscles when you're working them is the way they're going to form. And if you round through here, then you're creating that rounded back and you want it nice and flat and pulled in tight. So once again, shoulders are directly over top of the elbows. That's your perfect form. You want to feel those shoulders burn. They are on fire right now, and that means that you have perfect form. If you pull back from your shoulders, your hips go up, but then you're also placing stress on that. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. So I would also like you to take down to your knees here. If you feel like you're compromising your form, you're moving away so your shoulders are coming behind your elbows, you move away, you come down to your knees, you take that moment, and as you gain strength, you won't have to come down to your knees anymore. Okay, so this is your low plank option. This is also an excellent option if you get any wrist pain when you're in your high plank. So if you feel that wrist pain even when you're pushing down through your forefinger and your thumb and you have your finger separated, this is another modification for you to take. So moving on to the yogi ball. When you do a plank in a yogi ball, obviously you're going to be elevated here, so you have to push your body forward more. And because it's a ball, you're working with a lot of balance. So fingers are going to go out. Okay, so instead of going forward like they do if they're on the ground, fingers go out, and this is going to create a little bit more support through your wrist just because we're on a ball and it's hard. So, and also you want to make sure that your chest is directly over top of the ball, and you don't want your face over top of it, because as soon as you take your face over top of it, then instantly your hips are going to come up, and that's a whole different move altogether. We want to work your abs here, so you want to stay forward, and you're going to feel that balance. You can also use your knees as a modification, but then you can also come down to your elbows, and then you can do a low plank. So this one is where people feel like they're going to kind of fall over. You got to keep your chest over top of the ball, and you will find your balance in this, and you will gain strength, and soon the ball will become a little bit easier for you with regards to falling all over the place. But if you keep on focusing on keeping your body forward, you will get that. So in your perfect plank, you're going to be working your shoulders, you're good, your shoulders, your abs, and your quads. You even get, like when I say your abs, I mean your whole core. You get the front, but then you also get the back, but you don't want to feel pressure in your back, okay? So adjust your hips to make sure you have that in the perfect spot. If your shoulders are burning, your abs are engaged, and you feel those working, then you have the perfect plank. But if you feel that pressure or like you have stress in your wrists, then you probably need to readjust yourself. Once again, going into a mirror and doing this would be perfect. I can't think of anything else to add to you.
One thing I'll just add is that when you come from high plank down to your knees, don't do this. You're getting nothing out of it. You're coming right out of your total form. You want to make sure you still have that angle in your legs so your abs are still engaged. So one trick I have is make sure your eyes are looking straight down the outside of the ball, or if you're on the ground, right at your wrists. So that way you know that your chest is right over top, and when you drop, you still have that angle and your bum's not coming back and you're not taking out of it.
Yeah, it's good. That's perfect.
That's
cool. So the perfect lunge, the perfect squat, the perfect push-up, the perfect plank, those are some major exercises. We got your lower body, your upper body, and now your core involved. So hopefully you guys can nail all these, and then we'll just progress up from there, and we'll throw a whole bunch of wacky stuff in there to make it more challenging. So, but you got to nail these. So if you feel like you have a weakness in your form, you got to practice. Practice makes perfect. Okay, so go in front of the mirror. See you guys again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.